All right, guys, I'm back out here at Rivers West Ranch for the third time in as many days. Kind of made a bonehead move this morning. I came out yesterday and was going to camp out last night and set a trot line, trying to catch some catfish to send down to the orphanage in Mexico. Gator commented on one of my Facebook posts, and we've got a mutual friend that's going to be headed down there here in a week or so. And he said, tell him to bring some fish with him. I said, all right, I'll tell him. Then I decided I was going to catch fish for the orphanage. So went out last night and caught, on a rod and reel, I caught one flathead, probably about 15 pounds. And I'm struggling keeping my bait alive, having a hard time keeping the perch alive because it's so hot right now. It's 100 and some odd degrees, and really struggling keeping the bait alive. So ended up not camping last night because I didn't have any bait to fish with. I fished for a little bit and then used the bait that I had left to bait the trot line, and then was out of bait. So decided to go home and then come back and run it this morning. Came back and ran it this morning, caught another flathead, probably about 8 pounds. And I thought, man, with one about 8 pounds and one 15 pounds, I really don't have enough to feed anybody. I can't feed an orphanage, or 2 orphanages rather, with that much fish. So I was like, the heck with it, I can't do it. So I turned them loose. But I've gotten reignited a while ago. You know, Gator asked for us to send some fish. He didn't say you got to feed the orphanages a bunch of times. In fact, I might just feed one family, might just feed the director of the orphanage, might just feed Gator and his wife. I don't know. But my tendency is to want to fix the whole world. But my reality is sometimes I can't fix nothing. And maybe I can just catch a couple fat catfish and send them down and let them do whatever it does. I know Jesus fed a lot of people with a little bit of fish and a little bit of bread. So now my reality is I'm going to go back out, camp out tonight. I'm headed over here to catch bait right now. And then I'm going to camp out tonight and catch what I can catch, and we'll just let that happen. Wherever that ends up, it ends up. So anyway, it's life is funny. It is. We have a tendency sometimes to feel like our little bit might not be enough to make a difference. And I've got a story that I'll share with you guys on my outro for this video. And I probably shared it with you already, but I'm going to share it with you again. It's about a young lady named Hannah that I met from Australia. So anyway, I'm going to take my 2 cents right now, head over here at the shooting range tank and try to catch some perch for flathead bait tonight. And I'll take you guys along with, and we'll see what we can come up with. Blessings. Okay, as you can see, these rocks right over here. I was going to go up to another hole. I was thinking it was a mile or so up from where I put the boat in, but it's actually about 2.5 miles. I just forgotten how far it was up there. And I hit this hole and started seeing the depth of the water. And just around the back side of these rocks right here, it's just a really nice, deep, wide hole. So I'm going to try to set that line in there. And in this area, on this particular line, I'm looking for quality and not quantity. I'm really hoping for bigger catfish on this line. So kind of why I'm setting it in this hole. And we'll see what happens. There's a little brush pile right up here that I caught a, I don't know, 6 pound flathead out of the other day. So I'm going to get the line stretched, get it in, put some weights on it. May put some dead shad on. I've got some frozen shad, but that stuff's like mushy like oatmeal. So probably not going to yield a whole lot with it, but I'll probably soak that dead shad for now and go up here and soak this brush pile. There's another brush pile on the other side of the river up about 400 yards. So I may work these for a little bit, kind of waiting for it to get a little later before I put my perch on and risk losing my good stuff to the trash, turtles and gar. These are my hooks. I'm running just a really good 9/0 here. So yeah, it'll handle big bait, it'll handle big fish, and we'll see how it goes. Just doesn't feel real big, but it's hard to tell, you know. I can feel him still. That felt decent. I got him this time. He's not very big. Oh, and I lost him right there. Good night. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't got no more bait in the boat. But I stuck him that time, so I'm sure he's gonna make himself a little bit more sparse. Finally stuck him. Again, I really enjoy this style. Again, I've only been doing it for a couple years, but it's, you know, it's usually pretty high action. Oop, I knocked the camera over. And not a lot of sit round time. Usually I move pretty quickly. I've probably been here 30 minutes, which is pretty long, but that's kind of my max. So I didn't want to put a bunch of perch in this bucket because I didn't want to put this bucket in the water, because I need this bucket to set in my milk crate, because I've got my rod holders zip tied to the milk crate, and I need the weight of this bucket with water in it to keep my rods from getting snatched. But that's my hillbilly arrangement. There is my milk crate with some PVC zip tied on there. I got a little metal bar, a little metal rod that is also taped to it. It gives me something more to zip tie to. So anyway, that's my hillbilliness. See? Little flathead.
No, Rio.
He is. Oh, he got hooked, so I'm just gonna cut that.
Rio.
Rio, no. Let me see what he's got going on. If I can get it out, I will. Okay, I think I can get that out. Come on, Dave. Ouch. One small flathead. What do you think, Rio? Get you a drink. His tail split. That's fascinating. I caught this one last night on a fishing pole, rod and reel fishing, and decided that I'm just not going to be able to get enough fish to send to Mexico, so I'm not going to keep him. I'm going to fix it and go take up the trot line. And he's kind of up under some rocks there. Come on, dude. What is it, buddy? What is it? What's going on, dude? Get him, buddy. Get him, Rio. Get him. get him, buddy? Whew. All right, we made it down to the river, got the boat in, got everything loaded. I'm headed upriver. And as y'all know, if you've ever done this before, trying to keep your bait alive is a bit of an ordeal. And I've got a decent little boat ride here, so I need to pin my ears back and get up through here. And I've got a lot of shallow stuff, a lot of obstacles. I have to watch out for the big log that just floated in right there. Soak that little pile right there. And there he goes. There he goes, kids. Oh, I got a fish on. It's a good fish. I gotta reef him out of there. Come on, boy. I got a good fish. He's not a giant, but he's good. Well, he might be more of a giant than I think. I haven't seen him yet. We gotta wait till we get a visual to it. It's a good fish. It's a good fish. Acting like a flathead. I better let him have a little drag here, because he's... Oh yeah, it's a good fish. Woo! Ah, this brush pile fishing, boys and girls. You gotta get on it. Oh, you gotta get you some. Oh, woo! Went for a swim. That's his way of saying I don't appreciate you doing what you're doing to me. He's a 20-pound fish anyway. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's a good fish. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. You're going to Mexico. You are going to Mexico. Oh, yes. Ah, come on, come on, come on. Easy, easy. Easy, come here. Ah. Yeah, I keep calling him bigger than they are. He's not 20. He is not 20. He is 15. 14, 15. I'm trying to get this circle hook out. That thing did just like it's supposed to, though. That circle hook worked just right. All right. I actually got the scale out, and I missed that fish by a good bit, and it's not still reading. He's 11 pounds, and when I seen him in the water, I called him 20 anyway, and then I got him out and called him 14 or 15, and reality is he is 11 pounds of flathead. Just had a really good run on this one. Literally all this has happened in the last Yep, he's running. All right, fish on. All right. We got a good fish. We got a good fish. It almost looked like a blue. Oh, don't get in that line. Oh, and he's getting in them in a bucket. I think it is a blue. Nope, it's a flathead. Oh, that's a good fish. Now I gotta get under this rod. Okay. And then I gotta get, come here you, oh, come on, come on. Oh, no, 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 come here. Got him. All right. All right. Wow, that hook just fell out. If I'd have let him have any slack at all, and he would have been gone. I thought I would give you a sneak peek of my view right now. That's what I looked at throughout the night, watching the stars. Hey, river. Yep, not too shabby. I don't know why we don't do this more as people. Pretty special. Okay, guys, yeah, man, it's been tough fishing for me. I've had a slow go this year. Haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to get out into good water that I felt real confident in. We caught a few decent fish. Me and a buddy of mine and his son went down on another stretch of the Brazos River a couple weeks ago. Did pretty good. This particular little video here, I was trying to put some fish together to send down to the orphanages in Mexico. I've got a friend down there that messaged and said, hey man, send some fish when our mutual buddy comes down next week. And so he went down just a couple days ago, and I was really wanting to send some fish with him, and it just wasn't working out. I was having a hard time keeping my bait live and stuff, and so I got discouraged and just decided I wasn't gonna even try to send any fish down there. So went down, me and Mama went down and ran the lines the last time and caught one little, I don't know, 6-8 pound flathead, and I had another one that was probably 10 or 12 pounds on the stringer, and I just turned them all loose and said to heck with it. Well, then I got to thinking. I thought, you know what, even if I can't send enough fish to feed everybody in both orphanages, if I could send enough fish to feed the directors or feed some of the workers or feed some of the orphans, man, that's better than nothing. And I think a lot of times, I know for myself, I think it's easy for me to get caught up in the idea that it really needs to be a big grandiose thing for it to really impact or to touch somebody. And I think a lot of times, man, as a church, we just got to do the small stuff. We just got to be effective and efficient and consistent at continuing to just do the small stuff. And so it reminded me of a story of, I went to Peru a few years ago, and as soon as I got there, I landed in Lima, and I still had to catch another flight to go over to Jauja to catch a bus to go up to Huancayo, where we were going to spend the week and do ministry there in Huancayo. And so I met a young lady in our group there at the motel before we went to catch the flight to Jauja, and was talking with her, and she was a 17-year-old girl. Her name was Hannah Robinson. She's from Australia, 17 years old, and made this trip all the way over to Peru by herself to come and do ministry. And so, man, you talk about feeling like a father towards this young lady. Man, I was just so impressed that she would do that, that I just took it upon myself. I'm going to watch out for her. So we were in the same town doing ministry, but we really weren't doing ministry together per se. I would see her in the mornings and in the evenings before we broke up and went with our teams. But anyway, the week went great, and she did incredible. As we're fixing to catch a bus back from Huancayo to Jauja to catch a flight to Lima, she says, you know, when we get to Lima, I've got 1 hour from the time that we land till the time that I get my connection flight to start working my way back home to Australia. And she said it's with a different airline, so I'm gonna have to get my baggage, and it's an ordeal. She said, I'm afraid I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna have time. I said, don't worry about it. I'll go to baggage claim, and you go to the ticket window and get stuff sorted out, and we'll make it work. It'll be okay. Well, she went to the ticket window, and I went to the baggage claim, and it took the baggage claim a long time to get there. And so I got the bags, and literally I ran through the airport, got there, and we were literally 2 minutes too late. They wouldn't take her baggage, and they said, you're sorry, you missed your flight, and it's going to cost you between $900 and $1,500. She was devastated, literally devastated, and I don't blame her, because I couldn't fix it. I didn't have a credit card to throw down to just say, get the kid a ticket. That being said, there was still a lot of missionaries still in the country, and so the group that brought us over there had rented a conference room in the motel across the street. Excuse me, I got to sneeze. Okay.
The group that had brought us over there had rented a conference room in a motel across the street for the missionaries to stay in as they waited for all their flights. So we decided to go over there. We went over there, and there was probably, I don't know, there was 30, 40, 50 people still in that room waiting for their flights. And they had food and drink and stuff like that there. So it was just a place to hang out. And so we said, listen, here's the deal. She's missed her flight. We need money. We're desperate. We put some worship music on and just started praying. We set a box in the floor and said, give as you can. And people just started putting money in. It was beautiful. There was one kid probably, I don't know, he was maybe 10, 12 years old. He came over to me and he said, sir, man, I've only got $2. Do you think it'd be okay if I put it in? I said, heck yeah, man. $2 is $2, and we're trying to raise some support to get this young lady home. He went and put his $2 in there, and we sat there for just a few more minutes. It's finally time to gather up the box and head back across the street and try to catch this one particular flight. Excuse me. And so we book back across the street. We get over there, and Hannah and a young man are down there counting out the money, and I'm standing up at the ticket window talking to the lady that's doing her fancy work on the computer, trying to find the right flight. She's jobbing in there, and they're counting, and she's poking and prodding, and they're counting, and she finally slides me a ticket across the desk there. And I pick it up and look at it, and it was $1,154. And about that time, they stood up. Within just a minute or so, they stand up and lay down the currency that we gathered up, which was exactly $1,154. And I think about that $2. A lot of people put a lot of stuff in. There was obviously almost $1,200 donated. But that $2 that that one young man thought wasn't enough to make a difference was the amount that brought it up to the proper balance. It brought it up to what we absolutely needed. So I ended up going back and trying to catch a few more fish, and then lo and behold, I got sicker than a dog, and was unable to even finish out the task. I ended up catching a couple, cleaning them, but couldn't get them hauled out and get them taken care of, so they didn't even make the trek to Mexico. But the reality is, man, God's calling us to whatever our hand finds to do it as unto Him. And if it's $2, if it's 2 cents, if it's $2,000, if it's 2 million, if it's 2 catfish, do it as unto Him. And that's my objective with this video, is to encourage you guys to, man, understand that sometimes $2 is the difference. I wished I could remember that young man's name, because I don't think I was able to get, in fact, I know I was never able to get back to him and explain to him the difference that $2 made. That insignificant $2 that he had, that he was even reluctant to even try to give it because he felt like it was so insignificant. Man, sometimes you feel like your 2 cents is of no value. Maybe it's what fills the balance. Man, I love you guys, and I hope this ministers to you. Hopefully we can get out and get some more videos put together soon. Bless you guys.